Hi there, Unite for Our Community. Sue Weldon here, and we are doing our Giving Tuesday campaign. How lucky are we that we get to talk to so many of our women and men today who are in our program, because for us, it's all about their voice, and we can hear their voices being heard. It allows us to serve more women when they share their story, when they share what Unite for Her has been able to do for them. And today is a campaign that we are really excited about because we get to put you front and center. So Marjorie, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you
really
for
grateful.
asking.
Oh, you're welcome. And I know you caught my eye. You were in our wellness conference last week, and you caught my eye when we were on line, of course, on Zoom. And just the way that you hung around with us, you talked to all the different women, sharing your story. And that's what brought me to ask you today if you could share a little bit of your story and what Unite for Her meant to you. I know you're just getting the program. It is during the pandemic. It is a time that we deliver it all to your home, and then you actually do have the option of going and going to treatments, protocols in place. But I'd love to hear a little bit about your story and how you felt when you received that Unite for Her program in the mail.
Well, my story started in March of this year. Due to the pandemic, I missed a year of getting my mammogram, which I normally get every year. And of course, it was a shock because, oh, well, go back for additional views. Okay, that's the regular. Okay. But then when I got that call back to come back for additional views, and I got the additional views, and then the radiologist comes out, it's the biopsy, and then you get that phone call. And it was a shock, but it's what it was, and it wasn't anything I could do about it. So I just started praying for direction. And by the time I reached my surgeon, I had already sort of made up my mind which way I was going to go as far as treatment was concerned. And again, it was a blessing to have an excellent team. Can I give a shout out to my care team at Fox Chase Cancer Center in Philadelphia? Where I was a former employee for 17 years, and now I'm a patient there. But it was great to be among friends and colleagues and to know that you have good care. And from there, it was the surgery. And then I felt pretty secure. And then after the surgery, I found out I had to do chemo. And I was like, oh, God, by, working in it and so much about it, I was scared to death.
Yeah.
But in that same token, I had great family support from my family, my daughters, down to my grandchildren, my husband, my friends, everyone. But it's still, when you're in that chair, it's between you and the chemo and God. Okay, so you're on your own, as far as that's concerned, as far as physical. But I thank God I went through the chemo, combination of chemo and immunotherapy from June until August, and now I'm on Herceptin until next June. And as you see, my smile has been altered from the chemo, which is one of those hazards. But and my hair is coming back. Everyone says it's beautiful, but I've gotten to the point to know that I don't care about those other things. I just care about how I feel. And I was always a person to be so concerned about others. And I was, does my hair, does it bother you to see me with no hair? Does it bother you to see the way that I look? And everybody's telling me it's not about what other people think. It's about how you feel, and it's about you and rallying around you. But you're always concerned about the other person because you never want to make anybody feel uncomfortable around you. But I'm to the point now, I don't care. It's okay, And as far as the Unite for Her, I was at the hospital one day and I just saw this flyer there, and I said, Unite for Her. And if I can be perfectly honest, when you hear about all of these things and Susan G. Komen and all these other things, I'm thinking, is this really for me?
Yeah.
And especially being honestly a woman of color, is this really for me? Is this going to do anything for me? So I said, oh, well, let me just check it out and see. So I did, and I called, and I'm telling you, the reception that I got was phenomenal. Nobody even knew what I looked like personally. They just did what they did from their heart. I mean, even down to the
Yeah.
providers when I've called to make appointments for things. And it was just, I just felt like it was just comfort. It was comforting for me because everything seems so medical all the time. It's just cut and dry, the doctors, the treatment, the
Yeah.
this, the that, but never getting into you, the person. And when I opened that box, and I got it in like 2 days after signing up, and I'm like, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
and I mean, everything in it, it was a breath of fresh air, actually. And
Oh,
everything that you can use. I mean, and the cookbook, oh my goodness.
no, I
Oh
love
my
that cookbook.
goodness. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
It's such an education tool.
Yes, yes. And being able to take advantage of the fresh vegetables starting in January when the
Mm-hmm.
weather's going to
Mm-hmm.
be kind of bad. And plus, I'm still being very, very careful about being out.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so conveniently located that I can get a pickup. Just and
Mm-hmm.
the just everything, the teas, just the information actually that it's priceless.
Oh,
So I'm
I'm so
just so
glad.
very, very blessed and grateful. And then with the virtual meeting with everyone, like I had said, you never know how blessed you are until you hear someone else's story. It makes you feel
Yeah.
grateful and makes you push on, push on
Yeah.
because you look at it and even though it's bad, it's real. People say, oh, you're
It
smiling
is
and you're this and
real.
you're that. Yeah, I'm smiling
I
and everything,
know.
but it's real.
I
Okay,
know.
when you have to stand up and try to get your feet together from the neuropathy and try to walk,
Yeah, you got it.
that kind of thing like that, or you try to pick up silverware because your fingers are numb, and sometimes, you have those, I call them you and Jesus moments because you're like, oh Lord, this is this is not good,
Yeah.
and one thing I thought that was kind of makes you really feel good that the community is out there because everyone is not going to be at your disposal when you need them. Everybody else's life does not stop because you have an issue. And it's real because, who would have thought that you need help putting on support stockings?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't grip them with
Yeah.
your fingers, that kind of thing like that.
No. And just to
But
make you feel mentally supported too,
oh
that's where all
yeah,
these therapies
yeah,
come in and
yes,
they just make
yes,
you feel
yes.
good that it's okay. All right, it's going to take me a half hour to get my socks on, but it's okay
Right,
because
right,
I'm gonna go get my vegetables and I'm gonna get that cookbook out.
right,
I'm gonna make
right.
something that's nourishing
And
for me.
and and I ordered my rollabout for in the
Oh,
house and my
mm-hmm,
rollabout for outside,
yeah,
but I'm
yeah.
just grateful. That's is no other
Oh.
words. I'm just grateful. Just
Well,
grateful,
I definitely noticed you because for someone who, I mean, you were saying that you don't, it's good that you don't worry so much about how other people are going to feel about your cancer, right? Because I remember that, like I was so nervous because I didn't want them to feel bad for me,
Right, right,
and
right, right,
and
right,
then and
right.
then you're taking that on too, right? Like you're
Right,
taking
right.
that on
And
as
I had
well.
a friend, we were talking, and then I said, you know what? I'm so tired of people telling me to be strong. Oh, you're
Oh, I
strong. You're
know.
such a, I said, I want to be in
No,
my moment for the moment, if you don't mind. So one of
absolutely.
my friends said to me, she said, I'm not going to keep telling you to be strong. I'm just going to tell you to be encouraged. I said, okay, that's
Oh,
better. We'll work with that,
love that. Yeah,
because
yeah.
you need that time, to feel like I'm not feeling too good. I feel like I want to cry
No.
right about this moment,
Absolutely. And that's normal. I'll never
Yes.
forget when I was sick and my Dr. Burgoon, I did acupuncture at the time. And gosh, Marjorie, Dr. Burgoon had said to me, Susan, you have every right to feel the way you do. That is a normal feeling. If you were not feeling anxious, depressed, having anxiety, that would not be normal. You just got hit with a cancer diagnosis. Like that
Right,
is that
right,
is
right,
actually
right,
okay. Let me meet you where you are. Have your feelings, know that you can let them out and let me help you,
right,
manage them.
right,
And
right,
that's where
right.
Unite for Her comes in and helps you manage them. And I remember you, just listening to another participant on the call, and
Mm.
she had had a stroke, and oh, she was so sweet, so sweet. And she's going to
Yes,
jump
yes,
back into another one because she's learning, and
yes,
it's just a different
yes,
way of
yes,
processing. But you just
yes.
hung on with us, you were just so supportive, and I just love that. So that's what
I
I was
mean,
like, Melissa, I want to talk to her. I love her.
oh,
So,
oh,
so thank you. Thank you
and
for
I
doing
think
that.
that with the community also, you say that you know how somebody feels, but you don't know until you walk the mile in their shoes.
No,
And even
totally.
when we're walking a mile in each other's shoes, we're still not actually where that person is. And I
Yeah.
think with us supporting each other, how could you not feel? How could you
I
not?
know. I
It's
know.
just no
Yeah.
way, you know.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm
Well,
just
I'm glad.
grateful, just grateful,
Yeah.
grateful.
Well, we have a big mission, at Unite for Her, and this year alone, 2,900 will be treating newly
Mm,
diagnosed or living
mm,
with metastatic disease. We are now nationwide. That happened during the pandemic, and we are grateful too, Marjorie. We're
yes,
grateful
yes.
that we can get our program out into the communities. We are leaning into our underserved communities first when we're going nationwide, because we know that our women of color, we know that our Latino women, they need us. They need us. That the health
That's the
disparities and
truth
the
because I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's the truth
oh,
because
it's okay.
I think it's embedded in the society
Yeah,
that
yeah,
oh, that's not for us.
yeah,
That's not for
totally.
us. That's for someone else who has money.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And finances are hit hard.
yeah,
Gas every day for treatments. You're going and you're doing this and you're doing that.
yeah,
And then I think another thing also is that I'm blessed to have had medical background. There are
yeah,
some of us who do not have that, who don't
yeah,
understand what's going on with their bodies. And a lot of folks are not blessed to have a care team that will explain everything to them. So as much as we can do for each other, that helps. So I think everybody has some
yeah.
input in the
Got it.
community. Okay, well, maybe we need this or maybe we need that.
Yeah.
And you'll say, oh, okay, well, maybe that's something we can do to incorporate,
No.
you
Well,
know,
Marjorie,
so
we actually have a task force for women of color, and it's filled with a lot of the women that we serve, a lot of our medical advisors, especially our Black community. And they're just sharing like what we need to do in order to meet that community where they are, and to
right, right,
understand our gaps and our blind
right,
spots, and to
right,
know how
right,
we can serve better. So we're just all
right,
about the work. It just makes me so happy to, hear how much you were supported by Unite for Her. That is our mission, and
right,
for us,
right,
we feel like, we want to be a part of that solution to understand how we can get these therapies, fully fund and
right.
deliver, so you don't have to worry about any financial burden, and that we will
Yes,
get you what you need, whether it's the
yes,
massage, the Reiki, the acupuncture, the food. We can't make it any more convenient. That's our
right,
goal. Get it right
right,
to your
right,
home, do it like
right.
this on Zoom.
Okay. Like I'm
Yeah,
becoming more
yeah.
computer literate now,
Yes,
my
you
grandchildren, my
are.
daughters help me. So
Yeah.
I'm just,
Oh, well, Marjorie,
and
thank you for
mhm,
joining me
thank
today. I didn't want
you.
to cut
Thank
you
you for
off. Yeah.
asking. I'm
Yeah.
just wanted to say, I'm just, thank you for asking me. And I just wanted to be able to be led to do what I needed to do. And I was downstairs, preparing and hurrying up, your schedule, you have that schedule to take all of these pills.
Yeah.
You got to take this, you got to take that. And if you forget one, that's it. But I was just thinking about a song that said, sometimes we have to encourage ourselves. And during the test, we have to speak victory during the test. So
Hmm.
that's what I've learned. I'm speaking victory during my test. And if
Oh,
I
I
can put that
love
out,
that.
is there whatever it is, it may seem, oh, it's going to take time and this and that and the other. There's still
Yeah.
victory during this test, and I
Yeah.
just never knew that I would be able to make an impact with just picking up this flyer.
I
I'm
know.
like,
And now
oh,
look at
okay.
you. We're going to feature your story. Like, and then you're going to speak to other women. You're going to be like, okay, I can relate to her, All right,
Yes.
Marjorie, you got to send me that song. It sounds like
Oh, okay. I'll get it. I'll
is it
get
a
the
hymn?
lyrics. I'll get the lyrics. Yes,
Yeah.
I'll
Will you
get
send
the
it to
full
me?
lyrics. It's sometimes we have to encourage ourselves. Sometimes we have to speak
Let's
victory during the test. And the
speak
rest of it
victory
I have
during
to,
the
I
test.
gotta recall it, but I'll send it to
No,
you.
it's all good, but I love that,
Yes,
to speak victory
yes,
during the test, because
yes,
sometimes you don't
yes.
know like what allows you to move forward. I know I was down on my knees. Oh, I was down on
Oh,
my knees, three
shucks.
three little children, and just trying to
Oh,
understand
and
how I'm going
see,
to get through. And
right, right. That's what I'm saying, and that's very deep. That's very
yeah.
deep,
Oh, it
when I
was. It was a,
think
a
about it. I'm like,
powerful time for me. And every
yes,
God led every step of the way. Who would have thought that what I did all those years ago would become the blueprint for Unite for
right.
Her and the business plan? I was just trying to get healed. But
Right. But
that's
you
how
know what?
Unite for Her
A
was
friend,
born.
and I'm going to let you go. A friend of my neighbor across the street said to me, she had some health challenges. And she said to me, she said, you know what? This is not for us. This is not for us. It's for someone else. And I'm like, well, Lord, I'm glad you sort of chose me. Could you give me a little bit of break? I believe, but like you said, your story, we would have never known unless you shared your story. Your story was for us. My
Yeah.
story was for someone
Yeah.
else. So
Yeah.
whatever we do is for someone else.
That's
So that's what we got to
powerful.
keep believing. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Marjorie, you got to
Well,
keep
thank
emailing
you.
me. Tell me
Thank
all these
you.
quotes. I'm loving
Oh,
all
yes,
these
I
little
will. I'll
quotes.
send you a whole bunch of stuff.
Love it. Yeah.
Okay.